Okay, so as is our habit, we'll start with a definition. Our definition will be that of a function of two variables. So remember, a function in calculus was something that took one input from R and output one input for each of those inputs, would output one number in R. So a function in two variables, as you can imagine, is just a function whose input is two numbers and output is a single number. This is similar to for functions of three or more variables. I'll give you maybe some examples as the course rolls on, some examples of functions of like what a function of three variables would look like, or this is economics, so we can look at functions of 10 variables or 100 variables. But for today, we'll focus on functions of two variables just to get our bearings. So the difference here is before, we've always looked at functions from R to R, right? This is, well, and if we looked at like what this thing looks like, we were inputting some x. So our input was x, and our output was some f of x, right? So this gave us points in the plane, x, f of x, if we graphed them. Okay, so today we'll be talking about now functions from R2. So we'll be taking inputs in R2 and outputting something in R. That's going to look like taking some xy and mapping it to some f of xy. Now, I'm aware that what I'm writing down is just symbols right now, right? So it's nice to see what these actually look like. If I had 3D, three-dimensional space, let's say this is the x direction, this is the y direction, and this is the z direction, then what I'm really doing is I'm inputting some xy, and out of that, I'm getting some f of xy, which is, I mean, graphically, geometrically, some point xy, f of xy. And so that's the difference here. Everything that we're inputting lives in R2. So this lives in the plane. And this is just some number, if you want, outputs z of f of xy. Okay? And so that's what we'll be doing today. We'll be graphing a few of these. We'll start talking a little bit about domain. We'll start talking about how when you can't graph these things, what concessions can you make? What can you do instead? All right? And that's going to be today.